see army at the first glance, we think about leadership, courage, discipline, but I'm sure there is much more in the army inside.
And running for 2 hours wearing sweaters. I was okay people thinking that I'm mad wearing sweaters in May and June because the girls with the fair skin only can be in entertainment industry. You are the only one who's actually studying. Look at us. If you think that tomorrow you want to meet Elon Musk, your mind will start processing the way.
Our uniform, our runway, both are miles apart, yet have been chapters in one remarkable journey. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to TTS Spotlight, the official podcast of the Tribhuvan School. Today, we have a remarkable personality with us. She has served as captain in the army, a profession which needs discipline, leadership, courage. She has also marked herself in the world of modeling, the profession that needs self expression, creativity, and confidence to stand out. Ma'am, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Zuveria, for having me over here. It's my pleasure to be part of this podcast and talk about all these things.
Ma'am, before we talk about your achievements, I would like to know about the beginning. Ma'am, did you have ever imagined that you will have such a unique journey?
Well, when I was your age, at that point of time, I never imagined anything like this. At that time, I think you are still much more, like mature as compared to me when I was in class 7th. I was just busy playing, running around in the grounds, not scoring good marks on my tests, just enjoying being the youngest in my family and the most spoiled child out of the three of us. And at that point of time, I had no idea. My parents also used to think, okay, the two elder sisters are still all right. They will have a great future. What will we do with her? Where will she go? So, no, I had no clue. But one thing was there since my childhood that I always listened to my heart. Okay, if I believed in something, I would fight for it. I would not eat food until everybody else believed that I was telling the truth, or I would not be silenced into submission. That was something I still remember. And if suppose if I'm outside and I can't fight with them just with the way I would fight with my sisters or parents, so I would just keep quiet and I would still not agree if there was a wrong narrative going around, but I would never just go silently into submission. So yeah, that kind of everybody thought that I'm stubborn. So yeah, at that point of time, I just knew one thing, which I did not consciously know, but I knew one thing, that whatever I will do in my life, I will be well informed and I will understand things in my own ways, the right way. I'll research it and then I'll go ahead with it. So, but I was very confident that I'll be a rock star, but I did not know what I'll be doing. Yeah.
Uh, Ma'am, is there any particular incident or someone that influenced you, the person you are right now, to become?
Yes, absolutely. So when, as I said before, when we were talking, that most of my childhood I've spent in Rajasthan, okay, and I had a beautiful, beautiful experience. Like Rajasthani people are wonderful people, and in fact, Bihar and Rajasthan also share a lot culture-wise, in terms of cultural exchange, literature, everything. But when there was a time when I had to be without my mother for a year or two, because my mother was also teaching in Kendra Vidyalaya, and she decided to send me to my father's place in Lucknow. So yeah, that was a time when I felt very lonely because I was only in class 10th. Sorry, 6th, not 10th. I was in class 6th. I was only 9 years old. And I could not adjust in the school also. I could not make a lot of friends. I hated getting up at 4 in the morning because I was in army public school. So which was like some 14-15 kilometers away from the cantonment, Air Force cantonment. And I didn't make any friends. I was all alone. And there were some times when I used to pick up fights with people because I was alone, but I was never weak in my mind. So I used to still pick up a lot of fights if somebody was wrong. So they would gang up and bully me and, make a group. But I would still say one, I never backed down. Even if I was tiny and I didn't have any group because I wouldn't speak only to my classmates and because I was just missing my mom so much. And so my father was also worried that this girl is such a nuisance and why is she so quiet? What has happened to her? But that was one experience where I learned a lot. I was not scared of people, though I was lonely. And I decided that in the future, whenever I will meet somebody, or I did not consciously decide it again because I was too young for that, but it affected my behavior with other people. Like when I joined Delhi University and I was in an Air Force hostel, and whenever I would come across shy girls, the quiet kids in the hostel, I was extra gentle to them because I had gone through that phase. So it made me very humane, that experience of mine. And even when I never ragged any junior, even when I was in army, even when I was in academy, I was an appointment, a sword appointment in the academy. And Ragda in the defense academies, it's the norm. But I never ragged any of my juniors. I just trained them to be best of their versions and officers in the future. But no ragdas. I was never like ruthless to people because I understood that, everybody has their own battle. So, yeah, that 1 year in Lucknow, in that school, it really made me a much more mature and better person through a very sad experience, yeah, of being lonely.
Wow, it's such amazing experience. And from there you grew up, entered the field of army. That is a very demanding field. So, ma'am, is there a lesson that you carried from the army till your modeling period all?
Yes, absolutely. I never forgot to be gentle to people. Because I've realized that through my different destinations in life, different jobs and journeys, one thing we really need to do is we need to be nice to people, and we need to be first nice and good to ourselves. When we say I love you to someone else, it's always I that comes first. It's only when you can love yourself that you can do justice to yourself, and you can also be good to other people. So when I transitioned from army to modeling, I was always very kind to myself. I was very forgiving. I was okay if I was not skinny at that point of time. I was okay that I had to lose 30 kilos to become a model, because you have to have a very tiny waist and very thin figure, size 0. So I was really okay, like running every day unabashedly in my tiny shorts in Gurgaon and running for 2 hours wearing sweaters. I was okay people thinking that I'm mad wearing sweaters in May and June, because I was okay with myself. I knew what I was doing. And in 3 months, I became like so slim. And I auditioned for Lakme and I got through in the first attempt. Because all the way, I was just very okay with myself, not fitting in the society and the structure which should be. That a girl should not be running at 11 in the night. Why is she wearing sweater, in May and June and running? Because I wanted to become thin fast. So I knew what I was doing. And I never got involved also, like telling and explaining people what I'm doing. But when they saw me on the ramp, when I cracked Clackman in my first attempt, then they knew, acha, this is what she was preparing for. So I was like, yeah. And even then I was okay when I became successful. I was not telling people, you loser, you moron, now you know why I was running. I like, no, not needed.
And ma'am, you have worked in army. So as we see army at the first glance, we think about leadership, courage, discipline. But I'm sure there is much more in the army inside. Can you share that experience?
Yes. So as I said before, that my father was an Air Force officer, and why I chose to join the Indian Army was because my brother-in-law was in the army, and he was an infantry officer. And the first time I came across the army life, it just like it was amazing. It was mind blowing. So my sister just got married to him, and I went to Jammu from college. I was in second year, and I wanted to meet my sister. And suddenly I see all these, my brother-in-law in his uniform, because he was on duty and he had just come to pick me up. All the rifles, all his infantry men, all of them together, waiting for me as if I'm a VIP coming from somewhere. I was just a college kid. I was just his sister-in-law. But that treatment, that warmth, that atmosphere of family which I received, I was immediately served some tea. And like, wow, yeah, I'm some important person, you know. So that warmth of Indian Army. And when I went to the cantonment also, I saw, okay, there is the officer, there is the Jawan, everybody is working together. It's not formal like Air Force or other, it's very informal Yet it's very disciplined because, of course, you have to defend the nation. So it has to be very disciplined. I love the warmth of the Indian Army. And I think that's why I decided to join the Indian Army because my merit was fourth all over India in CDSC. But I could have chosen Air Force. I could have gone for Navy. We didn't have anybody from Navy in our family at that point of time. We just loved the uniforms, okay, as girls and kids. But when my merit came, I decided to go for OTA and become an army officer because, yes, it's a different world altogether.
So, ma'am, how did you manage your studies? You secured all India rank 4 and all.
I used to study day and night. I changed the moment I left my house and I went in hostel and I started studying in Delhi University. From being the kid who was not interested in studying, I was studying all the time. I didn't have any boyfriend in throughout my graduation. I never bunked my hostel. I changed because um, at home I was always looked at like the youngest child, okay, the pampered child. What will she do? Chalo chocolate ही दे दो इसको ऐसे करके. But when I joined college, I realized my teachers, really, that's why good teachers are so important. My teachers showed so much faith in me. My friends, they would all come to me for advice, and I was like, what's wrong? Like, people are taking me seriously, My friends, they're all from Delhi already and they are coming to me for advice. And my teachers are like, Nikita will do something. They're always talking to me like that I'm going to do something in life. So that built so much confidence. It changed me. And that is when I decided to appear for CDSC because that was the first time they were having CDSC for women. Otherwise, earlier it used to be only for boys, men. So a lot of girls, we were all Fauji kids from the hostel. I was in Air Force hostel. We decided to appear for CDSC. 10 of us went together in a group and we appeared and I cracked it. I studied day and night. I used to study for 14 hours a day because now I was not Nikita from school who was pampered and didn't have to say anything for herself. Now I was Nikita in DU who had a circle of friends who believed in her talent and my lecturers who thought that, she has talent and she'll go somewhere in life. I was a different Nikita. I studied for 14 hours. I believed I can study for 14 hours after the transformation. And 3 months, I would study throughout the day, go to college, come back, study, cry in the night. Because I was so exhausted. But I had to crack it. And I was so stressed and I was so, like my friends, they used to hear me crying from a distance. Like they would be partying on the common terrace in the hostel. They're like, who is crying? Somebody's crying somewhere. And then they would locate to me, come to my room and be like, what's wrong with you? You are the only one who's actually studying. Look at us. We are all partying on the common terrace. I don't know. I really need to crack it. I went mad and I cracked it. No substitute for hard work.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
You have done a lot of hard work. Now, as we come to the next chapter of your life, ma'am, as you come from army to the modeling,
Yeah.
the expectations are different, the people are different, the environment is different.
Very, very different.
So, how did you adjust within them?
Okay, so first thing, whenever you want to adjust in a professional situation, is my learning throughout my life so far is just be the best at your work. Okay, because when you are the best at your work, the other adjustments will follow and they will happen on their own. All I had to do was like I told you my story how I lost weight so soon. I used to wear sweaters. Then I just left army, so I knew I can run. I could run for 2 hours because of my Fauji training. 3 months, so I was very much in shape. That worked out for me because I was not like skinny mini. I was thin with a personality. Okay, of course, you're an ex-army officer. You're bound to have a personality. And I was very professional. I was very courteous because that's the upbringing of a defense kid, a defense professional. Very courteous. I would wish my seniors. A lot of girls used to find it funny. "Arey, what is this good morning, good evening happening?" Because they were like models through and through. And I was like, yeah, that's my style and I'll stick to it. So I was always very stubborn. I continued to wish my seniors good morning and everything. And I was very disciplined. I dressed for the part. It's not just that for the ramp you should be good and look good in the outfits. Even personally, when I used to arrive for fashion weeks or any shoot, I used to spend money or whatever I used to make. I used to spend money on how I would dress up, how I will project myself. I would not go in some local clothes like that. No, I took care of that as well, and always disciplined, always on time. minding my own business because I was very different from the rest of them. Obviously, you're through and through defense, and you've suddenly come where models have been modeling from the age of 16, and you have come entered the field at the age of 25 when you have already been a captain and commanded men in your company. So you're a different person. So I would just keep quiet, mind my business, be on time, be disciplined, deliver. Ultimately, what mattered was that whatever clothes I wore on the ramp, they all sold in huge numbers, and they were generally sold outs. So that's why designers wanted me for their shows and campaigns.
So, ma'am, what was the inspiration behind this all hard work that you did?
So when I left the army, I was very clear that I'm not going to do a job, because whatever the best job possible, I've done it. Okay. And I was like, I'm going to explore my creative side. And modeling was something I was always interested in from childhood. But because we are from a conservative place, a conservative family, so everybody used to think modeling is not for educated people. Okay, it's for people who just get up from somewhere and come and start. So that was the idea they had. But I was like, no, this is fine. I will also not go from college, because I had a lot of opportunities for auditions in the college. One of my lecturers was mother of Siddharth Anand, who's the director of War and all these movies. They wanted me to go for auditions. I never went because I like no, I have to study. But once I was empowered, once I'm an ex-army officer, when I'm trained to kill the Pakistani, who are these people that I cannot deal with? I can deal with everyone. I was a different, confident woman. I was not that girl from DU anymore. So that is when I decided to get into modeling, and yeah, and I was very professional, and I did it in a very like proper way, that minding my own business, and I did not have to become part of any group for any of this thing. And then I moved away after some time, because modeling was something I wanted to do as a kid. I love those beautiful clothes. Okay, like we are sitting at NIFT right now. Beautiful clothes will come out of here in the future as well. I love those clothes. And I wanted to wear those clothes, and I wanted to walk the ramp and see how I will look. And God gave me the height also, because I'm the only person who's so tall in my family. So I was like, why not use all of this and just enjoy? And then I just moved away gradually. I started writing ads in Bombay. And then I entered journalism after 3 years of hardcore modeling.
Ma'am, you have achieved so many things, but that also challenges some traditional ideas, right?
Yes.
What will you say a young girl, who has a great ambition, but she cannot do it because she is simply a girl?
See, I was in the same situation. I told you, right? Like in college, also people were auditioning, and my lecturers was telling me, "Ki we'll cut your marks in internal assignment if you'll not go and audition for this." Still, I was not going, because I was also very scared inside that I don't know what world this is. And my parents always had a very bad opinion very conservative opinion, that it's a bad world outside, all the. So first, I empowered myself. I always wanted to wear the uniform, because being an Air Force officer's daughter, my brother-in-law was like such a rock star in the army and everything. So I first went for that. Okay. Because as it is, you have to be the youngest when you want to join the army. That has to be your first option. After that, when I thought that fine, I can take care of the world, because if you end up joining the army, you will know what I'm talking about. It's a tough life. When you are training also for 1 year in Chennai, after I cracked my CDSC, we used to have competitions where we were running 40 kilometers in the heat of Chennai, and we were winning. And I was one of the champion cadets. Champion cadets, as in if my cosmate fell down, I would pick her up along with another cadet and pick her rifle, and she would take her bag, and we would drag our cosmate with our own bag, our own rifle, her bag, to drag her, win the race, not leave her behind, because that's what defense is all about. It's teamwork. So once somebody has done that, what is the world outside then? All you have to do is you have to understand the rules of different industries. Okay. And then you have to make up your mind and decide that how much do I want to be part of this industry? How much on my own terms? How much is acceptable? And how much is not acceptable? And then you take a call and do a thing.
I really like the perspective of looking at it. Now, as students, there are many students who have many different interests, but they are pressurized to choose one. So, your life is a best example that we don't have to go in a straight line path. What would you like to say to those students?
Yes, you don't have to. And Why I chose different things, because there was also this tiny voice in my heart which was telling me, no, this is not the way it is. I'll give you a very simple example. When I was a child, it was always a norm that girls with the fair skin only can be in entertainment industry. But somewhere I always thought, no, yeah, that's not the truth, because look at me, I look so beautiful in all these dresses I wear. So how can it be that only fair girls look beautiful and all that? No, no, I don't think so. It's not true. And it's not true. It's not true. It's just, these are narratives, because I was one of the top models. And it's never about the skin color. Beauty is beauty.
Okay.
It's not about height. It's not about skin color. It's not about whatever narratives you believe in. It's not that. And when I joined army also, so in hostel, I had spondylitis because I grew very tall very soon. So everybody was like, यार तूने exam तो crack कर लिया, अभी training तो नहीं होगा तेरे. How will you do it? You're always asking us to give you shoulder massage. I did it. I was an appointment. I was one of the champion cadets. So you have to believe yourself. And there's a term called neuroplasticity. The way you believe who and what you are, you will become that. And I can put a stamp on it officially if I'm made an official for this department. That what you believe, you will become that. Okay. A lot of my friends thought that I'm joking, when they saw my pictures in uniform. My school friends, they thought that I'm just posing in a uniform because I was such a careless kid who never studied and I was always like pranking around. So they're like, अरे यार ये तो यूनिफॉर्म में अच्छी फोटो, मैंने कहा अच्छी फोटो खिंचाई नहीं है, I've earned this uniform, I'm actually an army officer. So yeah, so they were like, we can't believe it, Nikita, you became so serious in life. I believe, no, that's what matters.
Now I would like to ask a very important question. If you go to the past or you got a chance to sit with your younger self for 5 minutes, what would you like to say to him?
Good job. That's what I will tell her. You did well. Yeah. Not buying into any soul narrative and surviving and thriving on your own in this society, in this world, which is a tough place, and more so, as they say, for women. I think brilliant. Maza aa gaya. Yeah. Yeah, because I know the child version of myself, always like not bothered about anything, just playing, digging up gardens. Yeah,
What was your passion when you were young?
digging up gardens. Digging up gardens, and my dad would come looking for me to pick me up from school, and he would never find me in class, and then teachers would tell them, wo re aapki Nikita, dur he would see, because Kendriya Vidyalayas have huge compounds, they would see kahi baith ke apne 4 friends ke saath patthar koot ke I would be making laddus mitti ka. That's what I used to do. And my father was so like, he's like coming and picking me up in his uniform. He's like, look at my daughter, she's like mitti all over her. He would just like smile at my teachers and pick me up. And one day he put all my laddus in front of me. He took me home, okay? And then he put all those mitti ka laddus, which is, by the way, a Japanese craft. Doradango. Okay. So they thought I'm wasting my time and energy making mitti ka laddus. And then he took a picture of mine. Like, okay, we'll remember you. You will remember it like this, the way you were in primary class. So yeah, it's all right. Even if you're making mitti ka laddus and then suddenly you're an army officer who's like so proper, and suddenly you're like this model who's wearing all these clothes and showing attitude as a supermodel, top model. It's your mind.
Yes. Okay.
And I want all you kids to read about neuroplasticity. It's the reality. I even made a project on neuroplasticity because now I'm pursuing my MA. I couldn't study further after graduation because I was in the army. But now I'm pursuing my master's in psychology from Amity, and I'm actually writing a project on
Ma'am,
neuroplasticity.
can you tell in detail what is neuroplasticity?
Neuroplasticity is basically, so mind never stops changing. Okay, it's the ability of the mind to change itself in terms of thought process and even physically. Like today, you're in school, and suddenly, if you really focus on like you want to be the bad girl, it will happen. It's just that I never focused on becoming a bad girl. Otherwise, even that would have happened. That's the reality, and that's very rooted in the Indian culture. If you look at yoga, yogis, nirvana, how they used to make just things in the air, because they believe that this is the reality, it will happen, and then it happens. Your mind makes you work in that direction. That is how it happens. Like today, if you think that tomorrow you want to meet Elon Musk, your mind will start processing the way. It will start telling you, "Acha, why don't you appear for Spell Bee? Or maybe crack a thing that you will go to US. What if," and suddenly you'll see that Elon Musk is the chief guest.
Wow.
Yeah, that's neuroplasticity.
From army to modeling, ma'am, tell me the one thing that people cannot realize about you.
So from army to modeling, I think a lot of things like we have also been talking, they already come out. Okay, maybe this person is like this or likes to go about things this way. But there is one thing that, okay, that has kind of become a limitation also in a certain way for me. And I will highlight that thing because I totally believe in no limitations. No limitations, and the existing rules are like not the real rules and all that stuff. I have my some philosophy. But I think that sometimes I am not really able to express myself in front of a lot of people because I already know so much about so many things because of having first hand experience. So when I sit with people, I'm generally quiet. So people think so many times I've been branded arrogant because I've just kept quiet and minded my own business. Okay. So what people don't know about me in general is, which they may find out in due course of time when I stay with them or work with them, is that I am actually a very friendly person. I am still that youngest child from my family in my heart. And because I do understand the ways of the world, of course, after so much experience, any decent person with decent IQ will understand the ways of the world. So I stay reserved. And maybe it's because of the military bearing, which they drill into you with all that tough training, that some people do think that I'm arrogant, where it's just the opposite. I love to talk to people from all the sectors of the society. I think that's what ended up helping me a lot in my journalism career. And I'm basically a very friendly person. And sometimes I feel that I really should not let the other person know how friendly I am because they may be like, "Oh, okay, this is too much sweetness." So yeah, that's the thing.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining us on
Thank you
PTS.
so much for having me, and it was a pleasure talking to you. I'm very happy to see that our young kids are so talented, like not like me who's like digging up the gardens. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining us on today's podcast.
Thank you so much, Juveria, for having me today. You're a very bright kid, and your group is a very bright, group of very bright children. I'm very happy to see the young generation so nice, doing so well, so nicely supported by your amazing teacher. And yes, because some great teachers only made my a lot of difference to my life and understanding of myself. Thank you for having me.
Okay.